All right. So, yeah, welcome to the first ever episode of the Parr Codes podcast. I'm here with Brian Cary and Ryan Markus. So, if you guys just want to introduce yourselves, just a little bit about, what you do, what you like to do.
No
Oh
doubt.
man,
I
tear it up.
mean, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go. My name's yeah. I'm Brian Cary. Uh, right now, I'm a software development manager at Team Software. I've been in the software engineering industry for a decade now, professionally. So I went to University of Nebraska, got a degree in computer engineering. I've started a company at one point in time in my past, and have worked through the ranks at Team Software from entry level software engineer all the way through senior engineer, team lead, and now software development manager. And mainly my technical expertise is primarily like web development and cloud in general, but I also have some niches in like authentication, DevOps, like CI/CD pipelines, and just in general team management. I went the management route, so I enjoy really working like with engineers to try and be as productive as we can and solve problems efficiently. So
Cool. All right. Top that.
Damn right I can. So I'm Ryan Markus. I've been at Team Software for 8 years. Before that, I had a job for about a year, and that's how I got in with Team Software. But that job was horrible, so we don't really talk about that one. I've been primarily just a .NET developer. So if it's in the .NET stack, like I've probably had my hands on it at some point. Um, I I guess I'm getting better at like the JS stuff, but still like not I'm not a Will Parr, that's for sure. Um I've been a team lead, or I keep preaching that I need to be a senior technical lead because I don't just lead teams, right? Like or a team, but there's a lot more to my job than just being a part of a team, right? I'm part of the company, and my roots are so deep within that company that it's there's more to it than just writing code, right? It's understanding the business and understanding the way we've done things and the problems that we've already overcome and how we've done that.
For sure.
Uh,
All right.
I can attest to that, Ryan. You've been working for a long time, and you got a really big specialty with, I mean, the way that Team Software does work. So it's pretty impressive.
Sweet.
Thanks.
All right. You guys ready to jump into our topic for the day?
Let's do it.
All
All
right.
right. So yeah, today we're just going to talk about like working home, but not only working from home, but working from home effectively. Just kind of strategies for that as well. So yeah, what do you guys think about working from home, just in general?
It's been weird. Like I think that's like the only way to really describe it is this is weird. Um like nobody was ready for this, right? Like it just kind of happened one day and everybody grabbed some stuff and went home. Um right?
Yeah.
And
Do
like
you still have stuff
That's
at the
exactly
office?
how it went.
oh, I still have stuff at the office. There's some M&Ms sitting on my desk that I don't want to go near, man.
Oh no. Oh.
No, I agree. It's that's weird. Like it literally was the company said on that, what was it, a Thursday, that said, okay, everybody, tomorrow it's Friday. We're gonna try out if everybody's remote for the day, and we haven't been back since. And it was just like, hey, it was a success on Friday, so everybody's just stay at home. And it was like,
Just.
well, my headphones are there. And so
Oh no. You didn't even go
it's all
back and
good
get
though.
them.
Well, yeah. So I've been back twice, and I've forgotten them two times in a row when I'm back in the office. So because we've been back, so we were fully remote. What was it for like 5 months completely, where there was really the office was closed, and then we've been
Mm-hmm.
back a couple of times over the last few months, right, for like some meetings or some like sessions when we bring new people in or start like a new hire. And I don't know. In general, I think working from home has been good. I agree that it's been weird though. I've struggled to figure out how to be like when am I at work and when am I not at work has been my biggest struggle because I'm always on the same computer at the same desk, and it's hard to have that type of separation. It seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when your personal life is one click away and when work is one click away. Like it's harder to balance. I feel like when we first started this, I took a lot of advantage of being at home, right? So like running to the store when it was dead over my lunch break, right? And being able to like throw stuff in a crock pot or doing dishes during my lunch break, right? When I go up and make a sandwich or something, I'd empty the dishwasher and load it back up. And like that was really, really nice. But anymore, like I am so sick and tired of being in this house. Um, I need a break. Like this shouldn't be like a session of like me venting and me like getting this out there, but you know what I mean? Like it's over and over and over. I like the idea of eventually being able to go back into the office.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
but I think the COVID thing makes it worse because like you can't even like go out of the house and do stuff.
Oh,
Maybe
Yeah.
in a
definitely.
Right.
maybe in a different world this would be enjoyable.
So, would you say that, like, so let's say extracting COVID from the whole situation, would you say, what would your be like ideal work week then? Would it be going into the office sometimes, only when you need to, set days that you work from home, working from home all the time? What do you guys think?
Shit, that's a that's a good question. I think I've gotten to like working from home in the sense that I've eliminated an hour's worth of driving every day, right? I don't have to commute. To Ryan's point, like I can actually do stuff around the house, like make an errand in between meetings or something like that. But I've definitely struggled to be like fully productive all the time. So I think like if I were gonna like an ideal week, I'd have a couple of days in the office or at least one or two. And I used to think I would go to the office for meetings, but now a part of me thinks I would go to the office specifically because while I'm there, it's like I have nothing else to do but be productive, right? So at home, I've got a lot of distractions. Like I can just go, I have an hour in between meetings. I'm just gonna I'll watch 15 minutes of a quick video or something, and then all of a sudden your hour of free time is gone, and you're back on your next meeting and your next task. So if I was in the office a couple of days a week, I think that those couple of days would probably be some of my most productive days. But then being at home, I definitely think you could still find the separation and be able to get stuff done. So I think it'd be a mix for me. Some days in the office, some days at home.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree. I think if my team was also going to be in the office, like planning days and things like that would be super beneficial to be in the same room, right?
Yeah, totally.
Um, I miss that, but being like on a team where nobody is actually lives in this town, like what's the point? It's actually going to make my day worse because I'm going to have to go hide in a corner so that way I can sit on my computer and make calls all day.
Exactly. I feel like I'm better at making calls and doing like video conferencing stuff at home because I have my comfortable setup. I have space. I can be as loud as I want. I don't have to worry about any distractions whatsoever right now, anyway. And it's like in the office, you're exactly right. I'm like, oh, I got to go find a quiet room for this call I've got to be on, and you're not comfortable. So I feel like my days in the office, I think, would be focused on productivity.
Yeah,
Except
for
for
sure.
Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays would be definitely beer pong and hanging out.
Yep.
Yeah, because like, well, BCU was like, he mentioned, all I can do at work is just be productive. That's all there is to do. And I was like, I don't know
We do have
about
a
that
keg
one.
on the first floor.
Yeah, I was like,
No, I mean,
where's
that's what
Rat
I
Ball?
mean. What I'm getting at is though, it's like it's harder to lose an hour watching a video in the office because you're not going to want to get caught watching a video in the office, right? You're going to want to be setting an example and working hard. But there is definitely, I do miss that that aspect of walking around the office and be like, hey, you guys want to go downstairs and play some ping pong and have a beer? Like, don't have that at home. I have to just drink beer with my cat.
Or like
Right.
people would grab me and be like, "Hey, you want to go for a walk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, let's get out of here."
Let's go get some coffee.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
I
there
haven't
used to be
walked to go get
scooter
coffee.
races.
Oh, we did the scooter races.
Yeah. Right across Omaha riding those scooters. That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what like, if I were to determine a policy, I honestly don't know what it would be. But I do like the idea of like coming in for planning, because having that face to face and like whiteboarding and like drawing stuff out sometimes, that's so helpful, like, I think. But
I miss
then,
the collaboration whiteboarding, definitely.
yeah. And like, if your team is in, another continent, what do you do then? So you're just kind of missing
I
out
mean,
on
it
that.
sounds great to have the Microsoft Whiteboard app on the fancy Microsoft Surface Hub, which we've gotten one in the office now, but it's like, it's just not the same. I don't know. We'd be in the office together, walking up, collaborating. Like I've tried like using the whiteboard app, and it just doesn't feel quite the same as being in the office with a couple of guys and figuring out a problem.
Yeah, and you miss a lot of the body language too. Like, I think when it comes to planning, like, you can immediately tell, like, if people don't have their cameras on and stuff, like if someone's uncomfortable with the story, or if they want to say something about it, or if they have questions. And so it's just, they're just missing that cadence of like that visual body language that you really get in planning, that I really liked, because you can just tell when, like, a feature comes up and you just kind of look around the room and everyone's like,
this isn't going well. Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, I think that too, for sure.
That's one of my pet peeves actually, is no camera. Like, I understand, like, some people, you know, maybe like they're not okay with sharing their personal life with you and things like that, but like, man, I need to see you. I need to see how you're feeling, right?
For sure. It's
No doubt.
makes for a more authentic, and like you're not really trapped at home, but you you know deep down you are, but you're not trapped home. And so just talking with people, you get that still like social interaction. It's over a screen, but you still feel more connected for sure than just a blinking icon when they talk.
Yeah, even like when we've been hanging out on the weekends through Discord with other people, you know, like there's a lot of nights that people turn cameras on just because like you want to see people. You need that contact.
Definitely.
For sure.
I realized the other day that I've been managing guys remotely for more time than I had been managing guys in an office setting, which was weird. And so that was like, I think the first thing I did as like a manager of like asking somebody to do something that they were not comfortable with. Because when we all went remote, the first thing that I sent out to all the guys that reported to me was, the expectation that I've got is that if you're in a meeting, your camera's on. And I definitely heard some guys being like, "Nah, I don't want to do that," or "That's, not going to work." And I'm like, "No, just you got to try it." And I think that after like a month or so, everybody started to get on board like, "Okay, yeah, cameras are legit to have on just because you can see somebody." I think the body language aspect of just, interacting with a real person is legit.
Yeah. And then also just like another thing that like it's really interesting when you talked about like people don't want to share their personal lives. And so I was looking at that company that we were talking about earlier, right? There's GitLab. And then in that, like their manifesto or whatever, they're like, always keep your camera on, and they welcome interruptions. So like if a cat or something, which happens in our meetings, walks across the screen, or like, there's a spouse walking behind or something like that, then they like welcome them in. They're like, let us be like a part of your life, which is maybe weird to some people, but it also brings that more authentic, like people have lives outside of work, and this isn't just like people don't just clock in and clock out, like they have other obligations too that they have. So yeah, I guess, what do you think of that?
There's one guy that I just got introduced to, and like I'm pretty sure he's set up at his kitchen table, and like his wife's running around, his two dogs are running around, and like you can totally tell that like this guy's life is moving around him while he's trying to work, right? And so it puts a little context around it.
For sure.
I like the context, but I also think that something like that sure sounds nice in a manifesto, but I don't know, like if you're constantly distracted all the time and not able to be focused when you're at home, I think that there's like, I don't know, cats in my video or having a quick interruption, that's one thing, but like constant interaction or like having to facilitate your kid learning from home or something like that might be really difficult, right? I mean, so I think it sounds really nice in the manifesto, and I think that small distractions are one thing, but I think to be constantly distracted would be, I think, really tough.
How could you get anything done?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, this is my spouse for the 40th time.
Yeah. Well, so we've got a team member that works side by side at a desk with his spouse, right, or his partner, and I think that that's super interesting. Now they're very focused and they're able to effectively work really well, but I think, I wonder how effective I would be, right? Like if you were standing right next to someone.
There's no way I could do that. I felt like in the office we had the standing desk, and like I could look past like through my little monitor cracks and see someone, and they would be facing me, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing, because like we were just like mashed against each other, and I was like, hi, and like I couldn't stop like looking through the cracks, and I was like, oh, this is awful. So I don't know how people work side by side like that. Right? It's just the knowing that they're just on the other side.
Watching.
And
Ryan had a little rear view mirror on his monitor. That was legit, so he could see somebody's coming up behind him. I like that idea.
Yep, that's right. It also makes you a very suspicious employee, though. I do not recommend it. You're like, what you looking for?
Still.
Just watching behind me.
All right, so I guess moving on to like my next question, what would you say your favorite thing about working from home is? Just if you had to name one thing.
That's tough. I think the times that I'm like where you're able to buckle down and focus and really like get in the zone and work, I feel like I have a better time with those extended times. Like I think we did it on Monday this week, where it was like, all right, we've got this time, we've got 6 hours, and it's pretty rare in the office to be able to go heads down and focus 100% for 4 to 6 hours at a time. But at home, that's totally possible. So my favorite thing is like when you can get in the zone, when you can actually get in a groove, I feel like I'm way better and have a chance to make that last longer for me and like get more stuff done in that period of time.
Sure.
I think the pair programming is probably it's the best pair programming that I've ever been a part of, right? Like where we can share a screen or like do the VS Live or whatever, right? And we can interact and like I can be watching what you're doing and following along, but I don't have to like swing over to my computer to actually like Google something really quick to be like, I wonder, right? I think the pair programming stuff is really nice. Or if I want to try something while you're trying something, like it's easy. Um,
That's awesome. That's a good point. I mean, that's what we did all day Monday, essentially. Share screens and code.
Right. I
Yep.
was about to say, yeah, because like even when I would carry my laptop over to like someone else's desk and like help them out for a second, it still felt really weird, and I didn't have like full access to like what I needed to be able to help someone effectively. So I think
Yep.
that whole pair programming thing for sure is awesome. I honestly don't know what my favorite part about working from home is though. Like I really do like the freedom that of just I would probably say like it's more asynchronous communication, and I think people really understand that now that we're working from home. And just like if I don't reply to your message right away compared to someone walking up to my desk and then like tapping on it or being like, and then it'd be like, what is that? And then I would be gone from my problem, have no context what I was doing at all. And so being able to like hunker down, kind of like BC said as well, and just focus on something and just people understand that you'll get to them later, I think is probably one of my favorite things about it as well. Everything doesn't have
Like
to
you
be
get to-
instant.
Like you get to choose when you're going to get interrupted, right? Like I can minimize all my notifications and pretend like they're not happening, and just I'll get to that when I get to it. You know?
It
Exactly.
probably doesn't hurt that Teams notifications are just awful.
Oh, they're not good.
They're rough. I get them on my
Not
phone
good.
sometimes before I get them on my desktop.
Oh, no doubt.
Like the calls
Like-
sometimes will come through my phone, like not on my desktop, and I'm like, what is this? I was like, Teams, please.
Yeah, I think that Teams probably is not my first choice for collaboration software while working remotely. I don't know. It's not terrible. The GIF search is good. I think to a couple people's point, searching for GIFs is good, but in general, everything else is probably better in Slack.
Yeah.
I liked how I could actually like every channel didn't need a team, right? Or it didn't like
That's a
get
good point,
buried, and like you could pin the ones you really cared about, and then like it was in the same frame. So like
Yeah.
here are my favorite contacts, here are my favorite channels, and then like everything else is down here. But it's like two tabs in Teams. Like I'm not a huge fan. I wish they'd hire me and I could help them,
Put Ryan on the team.
but we're
Best
gonna work
collaboration
two
software.
features. Yep.
I mean, honestly, it gets the job
Custom
done, and like
emojis.
from like an enterprise perspective, I get the idea of why you use it because it integrates with our, identity system and is all tied to our Active Directory security. But it's not quite as much fun to use.
Right. Because
The meeting integration's really nice.
That is nice. Calendar and meeting integration, that's legit.
for sure. Yeah, I think that like working in Teams compared to Slack, I think I'm more likely to message or PM someone than I am to say something in a Teams channel. Like the Teams channels just feel so formal now compared to Slack, and it's only like
they
a
do.
major update, and it's like, hey, just finish this PR, or hey guys, I'm really stuck, can you help me? Compared to just like team chat, and I really miss that honestly, like just that informality.
Why is that? Like I noticed the switch too. Like you get in a Teams channel and it feels formal. I don't know. Ryan, does your team feel formal when you're in your Teams channel? Or are you guys able to like actually banter and stuff?
My new team is very formal. My old team was not. Like we would do whatever we wanted in there. It was just like the Slack culture that we had, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And we did have dedicated channels for like, we had a dev one, we had a pull request one. So we took advantage of having multiple channels, and maybe that encouraged some of that behavior because we didn't try and keep it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, separating out the channels is legit, especially when you start to get like automated notifications into those channels. Like you guys had set up like build notifications and hey, a PR was created, ready for review, posted in this channel. Like there's some pretty good breakouts of channels underneath a team.
Yeah, I like the plugins for Teams. Like they do integrate really, really well with other products, and I think Slack was missing that a little bit, but I still miss Slack.
I feel like I'm talking myself out of a little bit of not liking Teams, but it's still, I don't know. Custom emojis or no custom emojis is really the question we're asking here.
The whole you're connected to this call on another device from Slack. I don't know how many times I got that, but like I know I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and just be like, dang Teams, like this is awful again. Oh. Okay, so let's see.
I want to pause really quick because when it was probably like over a year ago. It was before we broke for quarantine and all this stuff. I Googled it, and it's still like the top hit when I Google it. Microsoft Teams custom emojis. And the first time I ever looked it up, it had 6,000 votes, and now it's up to almost 14,000.
Oh my gosh.
It was by far the #1 most requested feature in Teams, and that was 2 years ago.
That's insane.
No, instead we get the
Good
cool
luck.
view where everybody looks like they're in an auditorium together because that's way cooler, Ryan. So
it's so weird because everyone's like facing like one way and like they're not even facing each other. I was like, what's the point of this?
This isn't really how we'd be oriented at all.
Right. Totally get it for teachers though. That makes sense because everyone's facing.
Oh yeah, teacher. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But for us, it's just, what is this? Feels awkward. Let's see.
That's good.
So now, favorite thing, least favorite thing, working from home.
Least favorite thing.
I miss the convenience of actually being in my car and making a stop after work. Because right now, there's nothing that I have to do until my wife is home or I have to go get a kid from daycare. So like I have no reason to like leave the house. I have no reason to like stop and grab something for supper because you know what, it sounds pretty damn good. I miss that a lot, or like grabbing a six pack, you know, whatever it is. I miss that convenience of actually being out of the house.
I think mine's along the same lines, honestly, because the thing I like the least is just I don't have any social interaction. Like my favorite afternoons in the office is when we'd snag each other and go play some ping pong and have a beer. And then that might be like 4 o'clock or so, and 5 or 6 rolls around, and you're like, hey, let's stop on down to the Cross Drain Brewery and grab a beer and hang out for a couple hours. Or we would just at 2 o'clock decide, hey, we're gonna all grab our laptops and go to a bar and work for the last 2 hours while we drink some beer. Like I guess most of the things I miss revolve around drinking beer, but at the same time, I'm gonna call it the social aspect, really.
Doesn't that just sound crazy though? Right now is like grabbing a few guys and heading to the bar with laptops. I'm like,
we did that regularly.
I do that.
Feels like forever ago.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree along the same lines. Is like the whole work's at home, everything's at home now. Don't really want to leave home. Then I was like, what is there to do like out there? Nothing.
And now it's cold, so
yeah, that's even worse.
We need a follow-up 1 year from now with when all this COVID stuff is over and we still have this semi-remote work culture. We need to do this again to talk about it one more time because everything is so weird. It's probably unfair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Everything being closed, right? Like we'll have a totally different view when things are open.
Right.
Did you just say it's fair that it's unfair?
Yeah. I like thought about that and I was like, that was dumb.
I don't know. I feel like I started out the working from home really well. Like I got into a routine. I was waking up. I was doing my workouts. It was just like springtime, summertime. I was able to taking walks around the neighborhood, felt like motivated and productive. And somehow it just started to all really like bleed together, that we weren't going anywhere. We weren't doing anything. I started to fall out of my routines of like working out. And then I think those periods of productivity started to go down. So just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just been weird to try and dig out of that like rut. It's easier to fall into a rut at home and spend 3 days of not really feeling like I'm getting much done. But you're working, you're joining meetings, you're doing everything, but it's like a week goes by and you're like, what did I get done this week? And so it's just been, I think that's been the toughest thing, is just like, how do I know, okay, I'm in work mode. I'm gonna really focus up. And so I've had to change up my whole environment. Like when I'm working, I have like a different desktop configuration. I've got a different keyboard that I switch in and out when I'm working. I'm just trying to put myself into like work mode.
Something that I do that's honestly might be a little weird, but I put my shoes on. Like, it's just
Really?
I put my shoes on
I
when
didn't
I
even
go
think
to
about
work.
that.
Because like that's just like a signal to my brain. Like when I used, going to the office and everything, put my shoes on, go to work, put on, like, get dressed like I would actually go to work, not like sweatpants. And then so putting on my shoes has been like, it's a game changer, honestly.
That's nuts. I want to try that.
It feels weird because I guess it's just one of those signals to my brain. It's like, oh, it's time to work, or it's time to be productive, because the only time you have your shoes off is like when you're relaxing or doing something else. So yeah, when I'm done with work, take my shoes off, like go put them in the room. So yeah, it's weird, but it works.
I have to ask, do you guys still have a morning routine, or do you find yourself like, I don't think I'm going to change out of sweatpants today?
I think on the weeks that I fall into those ruts, it's because I don't have a routine. Like, honestly, following a routine in the morning time of like giving myself at least 20 or 30 minutes before stand up to like actually wake up and shower quick and put on some clothes, make some coffee. Like that 30 minutes right there, like I think is the game changer for me in whether or not I'm going to have a really good productive day, or whether it's just going to be sweatpants and a ball cap because I rolled out of bed 3 minutes before stand up and turned my camera on, right? I mean,
Cameras always have to be on.
and my camera's on, right? I made the mandate, so I'm turning my camera on. So
Yeah, I haven't combed my hair or like used any product or anything like since this whole thing began. I shower every day. There was one day where I was like, you know what? There was one day where I was like, I'm gonna just sweatpants it, and that was the worst day I've had. I didn't feel good about myself.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, honestly, like doing my hair, getting ready in the morning, that's a huge thing for sure, because it just feels like I'm about to go into the office. Then, like, everything that I would do before I'm going to the office, I need to be doing at home. So then it's just like, just taking care of yourself, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like I've developed an evening routine too, though, right? Like, so on the days where it's been not good for me, what I would classify not my best day from home, I would just work until whenever, not really sure, and because I'm hungry, and go eat dinner, make some dinner with the wife, and then she goes to bed, and I play games all night. But having an actual, okay, I'm gonna call it at 5:30 tonight. We're gonna make dinner. I'm gonna shut the computer off. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z around the house, or we're gonna clean something up and like make dinner together and actually have a night. It feels more like that break you'd have with your commute home from the office, and I think that's what I was missing most nights of like, okay, I'm not working anymore, but the nights where I don't do something like that and break like that, I'll just end up feeling like I'm working all night long, and that's the worst feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Petro knew a guy who worked from home, and that individual had an interesting plan, right? So every day he'd get up, he'd get ready, he would physically leave the house, and he'd ride his bike or he'd take a walk. And he would go around the neighborhood, and take a 10-minute, 15-minute walk or bike ride, and then he'd ride back at home. And now he's at work. And then when he was done, he would do the same thing.
That's awesome.
But he'd go backwards. He would leave work and arrive at home.
And that's smart. I'm gonna try that.
Dude, you get that mental break. You have physically removed yourself from that environment. Like, you're done. Like, I could see it really working. I'm just not disciplined enough. I want to work until the last possible minute some nights.
Yeah.
Makes it tough.
I don't know.
Yeah, I always had to step away from my computer, because I'm like, if I just go like I'm working, and then I just stop like working or whatever, my day's done for the day, and then I'll flip over to like games or something on my computer, I still am thinking about work, like, because my mind's just hasn't like checked out. It's like, well, we're still at the computer, your shoes are still on. And so it's like, I'm still thinking about work, and then it's like 8:30 or something, and I'm like, should I have really mapped all of those to an array or something like that, and it'll just like go in my head. I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't even be thinking about this. So it's easy to burn out for sure.
Makes it even harder when you're working with a time zone like Melbourne, Australia, because in what's supposed to be the end of our day is the beginning of their day. And so I'll leave Teams open all night long on my computer, or on the nights that I do leave Teams open, I'll see messages pop up and notifications come up, and Rob's asking for a PR review or something. It's like, it's 9 o'clock. I can hop in and do a PR review quick, and then you're like, man, did I work all night or did I have a break? I mean,
yeah, and it's like the other question is if we were going into the office, would you be doing that?
See, I don't, and that's the thing. Like an evening like routine, those nights where I make a clean break, I definitely feel like no, those are the normal nights for me. Like a normal night coming home from the office, where I would have come home, we make dinner, and we, do something for the night, right? Instead of just sitting. But
I think what I need to do is I think I need 2 physical computers, one for work and one for home. Because right now I've repurposed my home computer as my home and work computer. And so like some nights you walk away from work and you're like, I ain't closing this.
That's a good point.
I need it when I wake up tomorrow.
First thing.
You're like, I'm gonna leave that command prompt open.
It's been a struggle. You fire up Call of Duty and you're dropping frames and you're like, man, I'm going to have to close down Visual Studio. I need to get rid of this, restart the PC, turn off Nightlight. I'm playing Call of Duty now. And then you're like, man.
What's my RAM utilization? I better close these 46 Stack Overflow tabs. Gonna hate myself tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's been something that I've been really strong on, is I refuse to use my personal computer for anything work related.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that. You're always on your MacBook.
And so I like the Mac for work, honestly. Like I feel more productive on it. But then like I guess using my personal computer for work doesn't feel the best. But then also just that signal in your head of like, well, now this is your work computer and this is your fun computer. Like, so then you can become out of focus or you can work all night long. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've been working on my gaming PC this whole time, so it's the same.
I think that's something I really want to kind of push for, is that ability to like, whether it's asking for some recommendation from our IT or leaning on them to buy me some piece of hardware or just doing the research myself and figuring it out. But I want to click a button because I don't want 2 keyboards and 2 mice. Like I want that one. So yeah, if you got recommendations, give them to me because I will listen.
The perfect solution for you. So here we go. Been waiting for someone to ask this.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
But honestly, I had this USB switcher down here, and you can plug in 4 devices to it. I mean, you could also plug in like an extension or whatever, but you can plug in 4 devices, and then there's 2 USBs out the back. So one goes to my Mac, and then the other goes to my personal PC. And so then just to switch all of my devices, all I had to do is a single click and it switches all of them from my Mac to my PC, and there's like, a second buffer or whatever. And then I just switch inputs, and it's been great because then I just use my dock and then everything's fine. So
do you have an HDMI one as well?
What do you mean? For the
like I would want to switch my monitors as well.
He's plugged into the dock though.
Yeah. So I use the same monitors because but I have it plugged into the dock, and then I have an HDMI and DisplayPort going into one, and then I think the other one's like DisplayPort to HDMI or something over here, and then
so you just got both inputs. There you go.
Yep. So I just use both inputs, switch them in between them. And the USB switcher was, I think it was $30 on Amazon, if that.
That's legit.
So I love it. It's been one of my best purchases ever, but I don't know if I convinced you or not either.
I think I am. I think I'm convinced. $30, I think I can handle that.
Oh yeah, and of course there's like the whole KVM type stuff where you can switch like all your audio and everything like that, but I'm not that dedicated, so I don't know. Let's see. This one's a good one. What's your pet peeve with remote work? If you had to name one thing.
Leaving me on red.
Oh, that's a good one. I hate that. I know you saw that.
I
Or
know
you
you
saw the
saw it.
notification for it, right?
You cleared the notification. I am dead to you now.
I think I did that to you today. Oh
If
man,
it's
that's a
something I
really
really
good one.
need, like it happens, right? It does happen. But like, and if it's something that's really that important to me, I'll probably ping you again and be like, "Hey, I know I'm being really annoying, but it's important."
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I know mine. It's similar, but I hate being cold called on Microsoft Teams or whatever collaboration software you're using. Like, for Pete's sake, please send me an IM first. Like, just, hey man, got a sec for a call. No, we got a couple of guys around that'll just press the video button, and you're like, well, I'm here, I'm gonna answer, but boy howdy, if I wasn't here,
I would.
no, I don't know. That's probably my biggest one.
There's no way I'd decline every single one.
Just can't
But
do it.
I'd say my biggest one is probably the cameras. Like the whole video
Cameras being off.
Keep them on. Yeah. Like, and if you're off, then I just assume you're not paying attention to me, and you just don't want to show it. Like, just keep your camera on. Like, it just shows me the context of how our conversation is going as well. And so it's just like, is this important to you? If it's not, then maybe I need to reach out to someone else or something like that. So
yeah, I always wonder if people are paying attention when their cameras are off. Like, I know when I turn my camera off, it's because, oh, I'm gonna take this on my phone to the bathroom, and I can't turn my camera on. So it's like, are you actually in the meeting, or are you just, kind of listening?
right.
I mean, I don't actually take my phone with a meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say next
Just
time
as an
Brian's
example.
camera turns off, I'm
But I
gonna
have
be
to go to
like,
the kitchen
"Oh,
to get
man."
another beer, or no, I mean, put food in the crock pot like Ryan does. So
Yeah. I highly suggest the crock pot life.
crock
You
pot life
start-
is legit.
You run upstairs about 11 o'clock, load the crock pot up. It's real nice.
That's a good one.
Chef.
But the other thing is, like, I think that keeping your cameras on during meetings as well, like, it really shows, do we need to have this meeting? Like, if you can just tell people aren't just paying attention at all, then like, why are they there, type of thing? Then, like, really, what's the point of having it? Should we
just
be
done
having
this over
separate
chat.
meetings, or
Yeah.
could have this been an email type of thing? So I think
You can
that's
also-
important.
You can also tell who's got their hands on their keyboard.
Oh,
Mhm.
certainly. I'm guilty of it though, for sure. Like, I'll be in a meeting and I'll be over here trying to sneak type, but I know people know I'm typing. That's like, I'm guilty.
You can tell every time you type, because you go from here and then you go.
Damn it.
It's just this little, like.
Well, I've got 3 monitors, so I got to be able to look at them all. No,
No, that's good.
it's important stuff. I'm doing important business.
I like
Well-
the 3-monitor flex you just dropped there.
Hey,
like,
I've acquired monitors over the last several years, and I just keep plugging them in. So,
well, I have 2.5. I don't really count my MacBook as a display. That thing's so small.
you don't use it as like a little,
I use it
chat
for
notification.
Teams. Yeah, I keep Teams on
Teams.
it, and then like anything that's just, kind of like that third thing you don't really pay attention to, but you really kind of
Outlook.
need to pop over. Nah, not even
I kind of
Outlook.
miss my desk setup at the office. Like, I put together a nice desk at home, but it's like, it's not the cool standing desk. I'm starting to wonder, should I have done a standing desk? And then just the configuration of being at work, when I'm at work, I've tried to make my desktop configuration feel like I'm at work, but it's just not quite the same.
Right. Let's see.
Are we doing product placement in this podcast, or we start to call out our brands?
Yeah. And
Thanks for my nice HyperX headset.
HyperX. Thanks, Team Software. Probably by HyperX.
Just
Amazon
like a
order.
banner comes across the bottom for all our sponsors.
Yeah.
Make sure you check the links below.
Yeah, please drop a like and a subscribe. Use code Parr Codes for a cheap Cloud 2.
I don't
See.
know where we're at, but like honestly, the wireless headset was probably one of the best investments I've made.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wish I had one.
This is going to be one of the next questions I was going to ask. It's like, what's your like favorite gadget / what helps you be really productive? Like
The
tech?
wireless headset is really nice. Number one, I have not ruined a USB port or destroyed my headset by walking away from my computer.
Yoink.
And like I can kind of like like, oh yeah, hold on one sec, and I can get up and I can still participate, right? And I don't have to worry. That's been a real game changer for me. Like, I got a mechanical keyboard. It's whatever, right? Everything else is. Oh, sorry, Will.
Just. All right, I think
It's
we can
whatever.
continue. I'm a little hurt.
Oh god. Cuts right to the core of me. Oh,
Well, I
favorite
mean-
gadget. I don't even know.
What kind of switches you got on the mechanical keyboard?
Ooh, that's
Uh,
the real question.
It's the less clicky. What, the
But-
browns?
Yeah, so there's the very clicky, less clicky, and then no click. Pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, less clicky
So
browns,
the,
right?
Yeah, the browns. Yeah.
I went with the silent reds, and I kind of wish I had a tactile key now that I have the. I don't even know what the other word is.
The linear.
Like linear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cause I just switched to blues, out like over browns, which are the really loud ones. And let's see if you guys can hear this.
You want to show us the stack of complaint letters from your neighbors?
Don't worry
Say
about
spoiler. I
it.
can.
Yeah. Like, let's see.
You can. It must be right on the line of your noise gate because I can hear it a little bit and then it goes away.
Right. Okay. Because I was about to say I honestly don't even think this one is as loud as my Browns one because the keycaps are better, and so when I hit the actual cap, it's not that like really bad plastic noise. But the one thing I really like about my keyboard is you can assign keys to do things. Like if I go to another layer and I hit C, that's just it cuts the whole line in Visual Studio Code for me.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
cool.
That's so nice. Like I'm just like, because then I'm typing and I don't even have to move my fingers. Just press this little key, press C, yoink, then I can paste it wherever I want. So I don't know.
Sounds like a crutch, and you're gonna change your setup, and you're gonna be not as productive because you don't have that muscle memory anymore.
How well if I what? Then
You're
I
adding
just
custom shortcuts. You can't be doing that.
The Control Shift left arrow, Control X. Yep. It's gonna be a game changer.
because
Control shift. That's like one word, right?
Because I just map it all over again, which will be a pain.
I don't know.
But-
I don't know what my favorite gadget is, honestly. Like my favorite purchase for my office has been my new chair. Like investing in a nice chair was a game changer for me. My old chair was terrible, and I've had it since college. And this chair is way more comfortable now. I mean, you spend a little bit of money for a nice chair, but it's totally worth it. But
I mean,
I don't know, like tech gadget. That doesn't qualify as a tech gadget. I'm not sure exactly. Probably the mic. Honestly, having the shitty HyperX mic that plugged into the HyperX headset, like mine was different. Ryan's got the nice one. I've got the
We're gonna
old
lose our
one.
sponsorship.
No. I'm trying to advocate for the Cloud 2, okay? Mine was the
I'll cut it,
original
I'll
Cloud.
cut it.
I didn't like the mic. The Cloud 2 is where it's at. Use code Parr Codes. But no, the mic was nice because now I don't have to worry about like having a mic, messing with it or whatever. And having a little arm. It looks weird in videos if I'm video chatting. I have a couple guys like, "Do you have a mic?" Like, "Yeah, I have a microphone." You're listening to me, aren't you? And I don't. Yeah, I sounded like I was down a hallway with my last mic. So
Well, yeah, but then you have like I would so much rather have that than have someone who just you can't hear at all and it's like it's all staticky audio. Man, invest in a good headset and or microphone. Like that is just really it. I don't even care about the webcam at that point. But man, if your audio is bad, it's a pain to work with someone. And it just feels bad.
I mean, even if you're just a developer on a Scrum team, you're going to be on calls a lot. I mean, Ryan's a team lead; he's on calls way more, and I've got to do like manager stuff meetings, which is like meetings all day long. It feels like sometimes so I got to be talking, and people have to listen to me all day. I might as well have a good quality mic.
well, I mean, I think it makes when we do those demos and stuff, it makes them just so much more professional. Because if it sounded like cell phone audio versus what we hear now, I think that's honestly it's a game changer in my opinion. But I don't know.
I was gonna bring this up earlier, and I totally spaced on it, but now you've circled back to demos. So, our sprint demos, right? Right now they're all online. It's the comfort of your own home. You can absorb as much or as little as you want. I love this setup because you know what? Sometimes there are things that really don't affect me, and I want to be aware of their progress. But you know what? I could also get this email out the door, and I could save myself, 5-10 minutes. I could schedule that meeting. I can save myself a little bit of time and still participate in the demos.
Oh yeah.
When we go back to the office, what do we do?
Yeah.
Because it is really, really nice.
Dude,
It
just
was
to be
all
able to, in the
online.
middle of a meeting, be able to do something and not look like an asshole, like,
Yeah. And
It's
like
huge.
I'm not
the
involved right now. I'm gonna listen and also be productive.
and the Microsoft streams, like they should sponsor us too, because that is the most beneficial thing of Microsoft Teams is the ability to record a meeting and then get back to it whenever the hell you want.
Oh yeah.
Like, so valuable.
Well, and we
And
used
like,
it to like do, hey, I'm gonna show you how to do this. Hit the record button in case the next guy who wants to know how to do that thing, they can just watch this video.
yep, walk me
Exactly.
through this, right? And now we're gonna walk through 100 guys in the future because we did it one time. Do you
Yeah,
think
we've got
that
a massive
format
collection of how-tos.
is going to stick, or do you think we're going to go back into a conference room and PowerPoints and slide decks like that, or do you think we're still
Hmm.
going to do the streams? Because the streams have a ton of value, or not the
Yeah,
streams, but the teams meetings.
I don't know. I think that just because our company in particular has changed in a way that makes us like we've got team members that live on different continents, I think we have to continue the format that we've got today, which is digital. But had we been still an Omaha, Nebraska based company with almost 99% of employees in Omaha, Nebraska, I bet we would have switched back to the old auditorium style demos where everybody's sitting there.
And it would have just been chaos trying to get people to take control and
Yeah.
slides and where can you hear me now? It would have been bad.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think it's back to that kind of participate if you want to, if you need to type of thing. Because obviously, like, some people just they don't want to be there. Like, I mean, honestly, like, it's like, all right, well, my team's done. Make sure everything went smoothly. I'm out of here, and I'll watch the stream later. Like, if I really want to, and I think that's super valuable because if we're forced to go to those meetings, and then yeah, that's so much out of your day that may even already be taken up by a lot of meetings. So I don't know.
You bring up another interesting point, which is my main gripe about Teams meetings being able to be recorded, is I can skip that meeting and you can record it, and now I feel like I have to go to it without actually being there because I can go watch that stream later. And like, man, it's really nice being able to like participate and be part of things, but now I feel like I have to go to meetings that I was gonna skip anyways.
I wasn't going to that.
Sported it. Now I gotta watch it.
Dang.
I mean, I feel like most people, most legitimate team members, have that self awareness to know I'm a real active participant in this meeting, or I am a passive listener, information gatherer in this meeting, and those people can stay quasi productive or do stuff on the side while the meeting is happening. But I have run into a few people who don't have exactly that self awareness where you're expecting them to be engaged and you say something and they're like, huh, what? Can you repeat that? That's like number 2 pet peeve for me. Is like, dude, you're on the meeting, but you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That self awareness can be weird sometimes too, especially with the state that we're in. Like of just
Like most
merging
people, I
everyone,
think have
so.
done pretty well though about it, right? Like most people get like, okay, this is these guys are having a discussion. I'm here. I'm passively listening, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like a weird mix or a weird balance of somebody calls out, oh hey, what do you think about this? And you're like, I wasn't listening, and you're like, now I've been got. So, I mean, I'm guilty of it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And that same guy and he's like, I need social interaction. Well, we tried, buddy. You checked out.
Yeah, I can check out in a real meeting too. I've got that skill. So,
Yeah. Well, let's see. The last one was just how do you stay productive throughout the day?
I do have a pretty good productivity thing that I've been trying for the last few months, and it works for the most part for me, and it's weird, but I set a timer, and I do like 20-minute increments because I found myself getting so easily distracted by, Reddit or Twitch or news articles or whatever the hell was going on. So I set a timer and I legitimately say, okay, for the next 20 minutes, I am seriously focusing on this one thing. And then I'll take, like, if I've got an hour free, I try and do two 20-minute blocks where I've got a timer running and I say, I'm not going to do anything but focus on this one thing for 20 minutes. And then I might take a 5 or 10-minute break and do another 20 minutes. That one productivity thing has helped me a ton. It sounds super weird, but I legitimately just start the timer. And the 20 minutes flies by, but it helps me stay focused.
Is it Pomodoro?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I had a friend tell me about that way back in the day, and I tried it out, but I didn't really try it out until I was working from home, and it seems to have, what is the term? Pomodoro or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. Because I know there's little tomato icon for like Google Chrome, and it's like 25/5 or 30/10 or 50/10. And it's, some people really like it.
I mean, it works for me when I felt like I was getting distracted. Like, I don't do it all the time religiously, but I feel like on the days where I'm feeling distracted and I need to get something done, I'm like, all right, I got to focus in.
Yeah. Focus on something for 5 minutes. You can focus on it for at least, a couple more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I've really got that problem. My problem, I get so distracted by other work things, right? I'm getting worse at to-dos. And it's probably because like I'm just sitting here and I can do whatever I want at any point in time, right? Like whatever's in my brain is the next thing I'm going to do. And like physical notebook. And like this one's fancy. This is a Rocket book, but like making a to-do list and like checking boxes, like I'm going back to it. I stopped doing it for a while. Um I actually like I started making check boxes because I had a lot of anxiety, right? And I just felt like I had a lot to do and I needed to make sure things get done and I didn't want to drop anything. And it was driving me nuts. And I saw somebody else do it. They made it like a line item and they put a little box next to it and then they checked the box. And you know what? Like that really helped my anxiety. But the thing that helped my anxiety the most is one time I didn't check a box. Nothing burned down. Nobody died. Everything's fine.
Right.
How important are those check boxes? But now it's different because now I can't focus. And so now the check boxes bring me back to the real world.
It's like, how long have I seen those check boxes?
Yeah, I'm
it's
like,
so
oh,
easy.
shoot. When did
it's
I
so
write
easy
that?
to fall out of to-dos, though. It's so like I was religious about the Microsoft To-Do app. It integrates with email, and that's the only reason I like it, because I can flag an email and it shows up in my to-do list. But I was so religious about entering those items and clearing them, and then we got to working from home, and I was like, well, I don't need them. I'm at home, but I clearly need the to-do list. But yeah.
The amount of times that I was told to use the to-do list app by BC, you would have thought he worked for Microsoft.
Hey, yeah, all right. We're a partner. Microsoft will partner, all right? So,
Ben will come across one. Oh, but yeah, I mean, like I use something for when I need to do a lot of work and it's like a lot of broad work, then I definitely do the to-dos, but I actually use Notion is what I use. And then I just create like a little mini scrum board. And then I'll just like put the cards of like whatever I need to do, because then I can only work on one thing at a time, and then I finish that thing, compared to all these different things and I might jump around, because that's what I'm really bad at, is I'll work on something for 5 minutes and then work on over here for like 20, then jump back over here, and then I'm just not productive at all because I'm just context switching. So that's what's tough for me, is just switching back and forth and really prioritizing what I need. So then I'll just make a little mini scrum board for myself, move the card. I was like, no one else can see this but me, so I don't feel weird about it.
One of the other tricks that I've learned, and this may sound terrible, but like I don't have to be the controller of everything. And so when we're like huddling on stuff and something needs to be done later today, and it's me and you and it's me and that person and me and that other guy, I say, hey, hit me up when you're ready to work on that. And I pass the ownership, because now I can dig in and I can get distracted as much as I want, and it puts it on somebody else, which is probably not the best thing in the world,
No, I
right?
think that's
But
a
like
good
it
thing
works
though.
for me.
Well, you're a team lead, or what was the new title you had for yourself? You had
Technical team lead.
technical
lead technical shoot.
lead solutions. He's the man in charge of the team, and you got to delegate when you're in that position.
CEO.
That's right.
CEO, if I may interject.
Senior technical lead. Senior technical lead. That's the term I keep throwing around. I was like, I don't know when you're going to give me this title, but I deserve it.
I mean, I'm terrible at that, and that's probably the way that I ruin most days is by just letting something distract me completely because I feel like, oh, I can help with that. When in reality, like choosing your battles on what you think you can help with is definitely the right approach. And I have struggled so much with that of being like just letting go of something, right? Like, oh, I've worked on that for the last 4 years. I'll hop in and take care of it. No, somebody else can easily hop in. I might give them a 20-minute intro or 10-minute intro and let them go. But I've struggled to let go of those types of things where it's like, and that's definitely hurt me negatively of like sucking out my time and then all my energy will go with it.
And that's another talk right there. That's creating successful developers and being an efficient lead and things like that, right? Empowering others. Like there's a whole nother talk right there.
I feel like I've started to get better at it definitely over the last couple of years, but like my first chance at like being a team lead was a couple of years ago, and it was like I wanted to do literally everything, and it was just terrible.
Little P.
Oh yeah, I had some good first team lead moments as well. The rapper names will be the best story. So
it's just so good. You honestly couldn't even try to make that up.
End the podcast with the story of the rapper names to be as my first time as team lead. All right. The full story is I was a brand new team lead and I was in charge. I think our team, what was exactly we were in charge of was the first like real integration. It was Team's first acquisition of a new company. It was Lighthouse in Melbourne. We had some of the guys from Melbourne on the team. Somehow magically I was appointed as the team lead, and I was going to be the coolest team lead in all the team leads, and it was going to be awesome. And we had 2 Wills. So what do you do with 2 guys with the same name? Nicknames. You got to have some nicknames, but we're cool on this team. So we didn't just have nicknames, we did some rapper names. I have initials, BC, that's my rapper name. And then I forget we had like John K, I think Jonk was his rapper name, like or something like that. And then
Dre.
We had Dre, Andres from Holosoft in South America. He was Dre, which was fantastic. Will, you had to be, of course, Lil P. Just Lil P was great. And then we had Will McClellan, he was a lot taller and he was older. So I thought Big Dub was the best name for Will McClellan. So we had Lil P, Big Dub, BC, Dre, Jonk, and we were the squad, right? And we get into like one of our first planning meetings, and our product owner, Scrum Master at the time, Anna, she's on board. She's gonna use the rapper names, which is fantastic. And she goes, "Well, Big Dub, what do you really think about this acceptance criteria?" And he just goes, "What'd you call me?" And she said, "Oh, we're gonna do the rapper name thing. You're Big Dub, right? You're Big Will McClellan." And he goes, yeah. Will's fine." so Will's fine. And then so we get to talking, and Anna's still on board with the rapper names. She's gonna call Will. That's fine. We still have Lil P. And then she turns to Lil P and is ready for some review on some acceptance criteria and says, "Little P, did you get your story completed for the day?" And that's when I sat back and said, "Well, I don't think Will and Little P are really going to be the best names for the teammates." And so now, a year and a half later, I still work with Big Dub and Lil P, and now the names are used as a total joke. So that was I wish I had a recording of that moment when she turned and said Little P, and then I think the next day you came back and said, "Can I just go by Easy P? That's a good rapper name." I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's fine."
I was just like, it's too much.
I think we're done with rapper names anyway. Call me Brian, please.
I'm really sad that you missed the opportunity to be MCBC.
MCBC, yeah, that's fair. I missed that one. Just call me Brian, damn it. No, Will's fine. Oh, okay.
Also, did Anna go hard T on little?
No, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
that
tried
was
to
the thing.
enunciate. It was
Yeah.
little P, and I was like,
Little, not lil.
Just went like this. In
well,
my
that was a
chair.
good roast, Anna. I think that was not the rapper name that we had established. So, boom, roasted.
Oh, that was good. All right, you guys ready to close out?
Yeah. Hey, no, that was fun.
Yeah. Well,
Fine.
yeah. Thanks for coming on, sharing your experiences. It's good talk.
Heck yeah.
Some fun talks. So yeah, thanks for coming on. We'll have to do it again for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, for sure.